Welcome to the Inject Creativity Live Chat Show. This 30-minute webinar is live on YouTube, Twitter and Facebook. And your comments and questions via these platforms are most welcome. Please keep them kind and respectful. Following this event, you are welcome to join us via the Blue Jeans online conferencing app for a 1-hour NESA-accredited workshop with our guest presenter. Now, here's your host, Dr. Tim Kitchen.
Well, thank you very much, Rob, and welcome to this Inject Creativity live chat show being recorded via Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and the APAC Adobe in Education Facebook group. We are recording this on Wednesday, the 4th of November, 2020. I'm your host, Tim Kitchen, Adobe's Senior Education Specialist for the Asia Pacific region. We were going to call this a very special US election edition of the Inject Creativity live event, but instead, we're naming this episode after something much more important. We're calling this episode, and I hope you're ready for the drum roll, The Return of Erin. Yes, that's right. Erin Raethke is back as co-host after a break since well before the APAC Summit. And before I formally introduce Erin, I'd like to do an acknowledgement of country. We respect and honour Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander elders, past, present and future, as well as all Indigenous people from the lands we reach out to during this event. We acknowledge their stories, traditions and living cultures. We acknowledge them as the first peoples in our lands, the first scientists, the first creatives, and we commit to building a brighter future together. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome back Erin Raethke to the co-hosting microphone. Welcome, Erin. How are you?
I'm doing really well, Tim. It's great to be back. How are you doing?
Going very, very well. And of course, you weren't able to join us for our last episode 2 weeks ago because it was your birthday.
Yes, Adobe was kind enough to give me Adobe Max for my birthday. How thoughtful was that?
Well, it was also Adobe Max at the same time too.
Yes, it was. Yeah, so I had family commitments that I definitely was not going to ditch my mum on my birthday. After all, she did all the hard work.
Oh, fair enough too. Now, Erin, because it was your birthday 2 weeks ago and we didn't get a chance to properly say happy birthday to you, I have a special treat for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Look at this.
That's amazing.
It's all about to happen. I think this is the first time I've actually ever performed on this show in this particular manner. I know you can't see it, but it's there. So here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Erin. Happy birthday to you. Sing along, everyone. Let's change the key. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Erin. Happy birthday to you. How's that, hey? And just in case you were wondering where the music comes from for my videos, do you recognize this? Does that ring a bell?
That definitely rings a bell. Oh my goodness.
You might even hear that later on too. So Erin, thank you for joining us. It has been a while. Do you realize, Erin, it's actually been 42 days since you were last on the show?
That's practically 1,000 COVID years. It feels like a really long time, and yet, you know, running through everything and going through the pre-show stuff with you, it's like it's never gone at all.
Absolutely. Well, it's great to have you back, and I'm sure everyone is appreciating. Let's have a look at some of the comments that have come through already. Oh, here we go. They're all starting to flow through. And let's see, we've got, I'm trying to find one who can be identified. Or even our guest, one of our guests here who we'll be introducing soon is saying happy birthday, Erin. And John, who we all know is saying priceless. Timothy Cosgrove, all the way from Toronto in Canada. Good morning from Toronto. 2:32 a.m. with the time change. Wow,
Yep.
that is a commitment. Welcome back, Erin.
I won't complain about the hour difference now because of daylight savings that Queensland has before New South Wales. Tim wins.
And we've got a few other messages here from what are called Facebook users. So if you want to be identified, maybe jump over to, looks like YouTube's working beautifully for us, LinkedIn's working beautifully for us. Facebook is keeping you anonymous, I'm afraid. And Twitter probably is working, but we just don't know at this stage. Linda has made a comment here. Adobe Max was amazing. And how true was that, Erin? How much of Max did you get a chance to see?
Well, I did actually have to work through a lot of Max, so I did try to keep it on in the background and have a bit of a listen as I was doing other things, and I did try to catch some of the out of session things. And of course, I've been making sure I've been plugging myself in to the sessions that have been put up on the Adobe Max site, so that anything that was at a silly o'clock hour of the evening or that I had to work during, I could actually watch. So really enjoyed the sneaks. That Comic Blast thing is, as soon as I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, how much more engaging is this going to be for student assignment submissions to get them to engage in this form of storytelling? Like, so many good ideas. I really enjoyed it.
It was great. It was one of my favorite sneaks. Just about everything that was on Max is now available through the Creative Cloud YouTube channel to go back and have a look at. Everything except the big celebrity items, we had to keep them very exclusive because, you know, celebrities are a little bit like that. Hey, other topics of conversation, I just noticed that Adrian has said celebrating the borders are open in a few weeks. Now, Adrian's from Victoria and you're from Queensland, and it looks like we will be able to visit your wonderful state in a few weeks, hopefully, which is rather exciting, and I think that deserves a round of applause. There it comes. Oh, looking forward to getting out of Melbourne, I have to tell you.
Yeah, and leaving Melbourne and coming to Queensland just in time for it to start getting over the 35, 40 degree mark.
Well, it's interesting. Yesterday was 30 degrees in Melbourne, so it was very warm. In fact, the day before was 28, so it was building up to it. And they say that tomorrow it's actually going to be snowing in the hills.
Wow, well, that's something that I've never actually seen snow, you know. Queensland girl through and through. Even my international travels, I've never been in the same place that snow's been at the same time. But I have to tell you, the last, you know, this has been a glorious spring here in Queensland. So I'm guessing that summer's going to continue to be pretty spectacular too. Few interesting weather events though, but we'll see how that goes.
And Louise Grice has said here, Tim, you have more talents than you let on. Well, thank you very much. It's very nice of you to say so. And she's actually enjoying this format, so that's good to see as well. So keep your posts coming in and out. We do have a tight schedule, really, because what's happening later tonight besides the election result, possibly?
Well, we really have to finish on time tonight, Tim, because thanks to daylight saving, our Deeper Dive show ends exactly at the same time as kickoff for State of Origin Game 1, delayed because of COVID and now happening in November. The first time it's ever been held after the finals. Yeah,
well, that's true. And of course, I'm still very excited over Melbourne Storm's win, I have to admit. I did enjoy that. Well, you know, I'm not a huge rugby follower, but I really did enjoy that. Not just because Melbourne Storm won, but it was a very close game. And yeah, I just loved it. Yeah. So what can we look forward to during this week's episode, Erin?
Well, I'm looking forward to introducing everyone to our special guest for this evening. We've got Dom Traynor, all the way from London. Many of you may know Dom as Adobe's Education Evangelist for Europe. And tonight we also have Adobe Education leader Jason Lane from Villanova College in Brisbane, Queensland.
And we'll be hearing from Dom and Jason very soon. Helping us moderate and doing a lot of the techie things behind the scenes is my wonderful colleague and the legendary Adobe Customer Success Manager, Jerry Wong. Hi, Jerry. There he is.
Hi, everyone. I'll be moderating the chat tonight, so please post your questions and comments, and let's make this chat show really interactive.
Thanks, Jerry. Note that we're getting the chat feed from those of you on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, but not always from Twitter. So if you're joining us from Twitter and you'd like your comments or questions posted and published by us during the chat show, you may like to jump out of Twitter and jump into Tim Kitchen's YouTube channel at bit.ly/YouTube-Tim Kitchen.
We'll be continuing the chat during the deeper dive event at the top of the hour, where we'll be crossing to bluejeans.com/kitchen.adobe.
Remember, the more you contribute, the more interactive these sessions become, and we really do value your comments, thoughts, and questions, so get involved.
Now, before we jump into our Spark Challenge for this episode, Timothy Cosgrove from Canada saying our first snow fell 2 days ago, about 5 centimetres. Can you believe that? That is awesome. And Lorraine is saying, happy birthday, Erin. So there you go. Lots of greetings, which is terrific. Erin, are you ready for our Spark Challenge intro? Here it comes.
Well, folks, I hope you're ready for this week's Spark Challenge.
So your Spark Challenge for this episode is to create a reflection on this episode using Spark Page. So we'd like you to make sure you feature elements from both this chat show and the following deeper dive event, and use most of the main tools that are available in Spark Page, such as images, text, buttons. You can also use video links, though that is optional, but we'd love to also see you use for images a photo grid, a glide show, and a split layout.
And we'll be keeping an eye out for the link in your post in the chat during the deeper dive event. So good luck. And for those of you who are new to Spark Page, let me show you how to access Adobe Spark via your browser. I'm actually going to show you a couple of things. It's going to jump onto my screen, my shared screen. I'm going to bring across a Chrome browser where I've already jumped into Spark Video because I want to show you something pretty cool, a new feature. I was working with a group called Melbourne Polytechnic today, and I was doing a Spark Video demo, and I got to the stage of the demo where I was going to bring in an image into my video. So I did what I normally do. I go to the little plus symbol, click on it, and go to photo, and all of a sudden it shocked me. I thought, oh, there's a new feature. And I think drum roll is required. Oh, can you notice the new feature? Take photo. And look what happens when you click take photo. It'll ask you if we can acknowledge your camera, and you click allow. And then we can actually get a photo, just like you can with your iPad version or your iPhone version of Spark Video. Well, now on your laptop version, you can click on the picture. It gives you 3 seconds, 2, 1. And now that photo, if I just click confirm, will appear in your Spark Video any second now. And so that's a nice little feature to have. I'm looking forward to when the Spark team, there it is, there's my lovely photo. Looking forward to when the Spark team have another feature there called Take Video in Spark Video. Who knows, that could happen soon. But our Spark Challenge today is actually all about Spark Page, and you do have to log in first. And I go through that process in most episodes. You can always look back if you're not sure how to, but these days most of you should be able to log in with your school account in the APAC region. But if you still can't, then log in with your Facebook account or your Google account or your Apple account or your Adobe ID. Lots of ways of logging in. Once you've logged in, click on the little plus symbol under the Spark logo, look for web page, and then give your web page a title and give your web page a photo. So I'm going to call this one, I'll just call it Spark, and give a subtitle if you want to. Click on the little plus symbol to add a photo. And Dom, who's an absolute guru when it comes to Adobe Spark, particularly Spark Page, he'll be showing you a few other things too. But just very quickly, if I go and find free photos, and I'm going to find my favorite one. I just love my favorite one. Do a search for creativity, and I need to be searching in Pixabay to find my favorite photo. There it is. Here it comes. Look at them. Obviously, those two students are working with Adobe Spark because look at this spark in their eyes.
They're so cute.
And as you scroll down, you can see a bunch of other tools to work with to add photos, text, hyperlinks, videos, any video from YouTube, Vimeo, or Spark Video that you've saved into our server. A grid of photos, a glide show, beautiful way of presenting, and the split layout, which is another great way of presenting. Images on one side, text on the other. And Erin, the challenge was to use most of the features, not all of them.
Most of the features, yes. That's the one bit of advice I could give anybody who's not familiar with Spark Page, is that do not let the amount of options bog you down. Just pick something and roll with it and just keep experimenting, and it won't take very long before you figure out what your very favorite features within the program are.
Erin, introduce our special guests for tonight, please.
No worries, Tim. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Dom Traynor, all the way from London. Dom is Adobe Education Evangelist for Europe. And we also have Adobe Education Leader Jason Lane from Villanova College in Brisbane, Queensland.
Hi, guys. They're all there.
Good evening.
Let's stop share. There we go. Now we can see them a lot better. So, Dom, tell us, how long have you been working for Adobe and what does your job involve?
Hey everyone. Well, can I just say first that photo that you chose at the start of me in that horrendous shirt with that's a good photo to choose, but let me just say that that's not my normal dress. I just want to put that out there. There we go. That was actually for a Spark video that I put together. So yeah, I've been with Adobe about a year and a half now. Sort of like Tim, I'm the Adobe Education Evangelist for EMEA, we call it, which is Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Which, I mean, how does one person cover that kind of ground? I have absolutely no idea, but I'll tell you when I get some sleep. But my job, I mean, it's very similar to Tim, I would imagine, is that I do a lot of teacher training. I do a lot of student workshops when I can. Obviously, right now, that's not really an issue or not really a possibility. I also create a lot of materials as well, whether that's student programs or teacher training sort of materials. And yeah, just like things like live streams with this, do a lot of live streams at the moment, whether that's with schools or, you know, this afternoon, for example, I'll be doing an Adobe Creative Educator Level 1 course for a load of teacher trainers, actually. So back in Liverpool, where I'm from, Liverpool John Moores is a university, and all of the teachers who became teacher trainers are going to become Adobe Creative Educator Level 1. So that's my kind of bread and butter.
And I can tell you from Liverpool, because you sound, if I close my eyes, I can hear John Lennon. I really can.
Say it. Well, actually, I mean, the Beatles, before they became the Beatles, were called the Quarrymen. And I lived back in onto Quarrybank Field. So round the corner from Paul McCartney and down the road from John Lennon. So there you go. That's my claim to fame.
So maybe we should be doing a little something. No,
I was absolutely amazed. Your talents are way beyond what I thought they were.
You'd say nothing yet, Dom. Tell you what.
Erin, that was a lovely surprise. Yes. Well, actually, I was going to ask Jason if he could tell us about his main job at Villanova College.
Yes, and can I say, well done, Tim, as well. I had no idea you were such a musically gifted man. That was amazing.
Can't wait to see him on the dance floor.
But yeah, hello, everyone. I'm Jason from Villanova College, also in Queensland. So we've got a bit of a Queensland representation here tonight on State of Origin game one night. I'm a high school teacher mainly, and my job is e-learning pedagogy. So I am responsible for bringing innovation into the technology content delivery of our school. So our school, Villanova, has about 120 teachers, about 1,300 students, and we're definitely on a pathway trying to bring more creativity into our curriculum offerings. And so I love my job. I love working with teachers. I love showing them how to do things that they I guess at the start are a bit hesitant or unsure of, and then they kind of go away from the training programs and they've got confidence, new skills to bring into the classroom to engage students. So I love it. And yeah, thanks also for the opportunity to be with you guys tonight. This is fantastic. It's nice to share outside of my school as well.
Dom, tell us what you'll be presenting at the Deeper Dive event later.
Right, okay. So there's two projects that I've been working on for quite some time. One is called Spark Your Career. So one of the things that I noticed was that there's a company in the UK which is kind of government backed called the Careers and Enterprise Service, and they do a lot of stuff around careers. And one of the things that they were telling me a lot is, you know, how do we get, what's the easiest way for students to make digital portfolios? So you might be at the sort of 16-year-old point where you're kind of leaving school early, or A-team when you're either going for a job or an apprenticeship or into college or university. And actually they needed a way in which they could present some of the work that they've done, some of the skills that they've been building up. And obviously, like you were showing Spark Page before, personally, I think Spark Page is the unsung hero of the Spark trio. And so I put together a 7-step series of tutorials for them to put together a digital portfolio. So that's the first one. And then the second one is something called the Writing for Change Challenge, which I know Tim is going to be doing some stuff on later this week. So that is, again, this idea is about preparing students for the transactional writing of the English language GCSE. And this is a sort of transactional writing is something that is seen in sort of most English language or English language arts, depending on what you call it, depending on where you're from. Most English language arts assessments or exams have this kind of transactional or non-fiction writing section in there. And so we put together a series of different challenges where students will look at global issues and write a sort of 200-word challenge off the back of that using Adobe Spark Page again, actually.
Great. We're looking forward to finding out more about that. Erin.
And Jason, what will you be presenting at the Deeper Dive event this evening?
Also linked to what Dom's talking about, I'm also presenting Spark, but how we can use it in OneNote. In my school and in many schools throughout Australia, OneNote class notebooks are a fairly popular way of sharing, distributing content, and also getting students to kind of work in collaborative spaces. And so I've been very interested in the developments with Adobe Spark when it was possible for us to embed content into OneNote. So that's what my presentation will be all about, how to do that. And I'll run through some basic workflows that I've found work for me.
That'd be great, Jason. For those who don't know, Dom is also known as DigiDom, and he has a wonderful set of video tutorials for teachers and students.
So here's a sample of what you'll find when you search for DigiDom.
Oh
on
no,
YouTube.
really?
Hi and welcome to the Dom Traynor creative tutorial channel here on YouTube. I'm DigiDom and this channel is all about being creative and me helping you to go from zero to digital hero using simple and free tools like Adobe Spark. Now you can use a tablet like an iPad or a laptop, Chromebook, desktop or even a phone to bring your words, imagination, pictures and videos to life. I'll show you how to do things that showcase your talents. You've probably got loads of them, whether it's writing or sport, filmmaking or photo taking, so that you can show off to your friends. If you want to become a digital hero before anybody else, then you're going to need to subscribe to these videos. It's the only way. I'll be putting up new videos every week, so look out for the subscribe button, give it a click, and I'll see you in the next DigiDom video.
That's pretty cool, Dom, every week. And the amount of content you've been producing has been outstanding. And Dom, you also led one of the recent Adobe Max education talks that are now on the Adobe For Education YouTube channel.
Your talk was titled... Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
No, I was just going to say, for good context for everyone else, your talk was called Creativity and Visual Storytelling in All Subjects.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, one of the things that I did even before I came to Adobe was that, as teachers, we're all really keen for students to read as much as possible. We know that that is one of the ways in which they can improve their sort of academic results, just on their own without any sort of input from anyone else. If they read a lot, that we know that it improves academic performance. And so, but one of the things that I guess teachers are concerned about is the amount, sort of the decreasing levels of reading generally in kids. And I guess that is a lot to do with screen time and things like that, and all sorts of other distractions. But one of the things that I thought was really, really interesting is that if you go into the average classroom, and this is, backed up by statistics and research, if you go into the average classroom, and this is true for, I know it's true for the UK and America, and ask what children want to be when they grow up, the number one answer that they give back is they want to be a YouTuber. And so certain teachers will sort of, hold their head in their hands about that. And I kind of think, well, you know, you can like it or, you know, like it or leave it really, but it is what it is. And so one of the things that I started doing was thinking, well, how can we encourage children to read more by using that kind of YouTube effect? And so we started doing a lot of video book reviews. So rather than sort of saying, oh, you know, video is bad and reading is good, we're just saying, well, actually, you really like video, so why don't we make a video about your favorite book? And I started working with this one group of schools up in, sort of Midlands to north of the UK, and they started doing video book reviews based on a sort of Digidom tutorial that I'd put together. And suddenly the Jason Lane equivalent in this school, the guy who was kind of responsible for all the tech, was suddenly getting like queues of pupils and students outside his door with people saying, "Hey, I want to do a video book review." And so he would help them put them together on this YouTube channel. And then suddenly they were being featured by YouTube Kids. And then they were the local library service in his region got in touch and said, "Hey, can we put these up as QR codes in our library so that we can encourage people to read?" And that sort of morphed into, you know, creating their own book covers and putting together their own like Spark Page book reviews. And so it's kind of that was one of the things we focused on in the Max session. Was we talked to that group of schools, and we talked to the tech lead, and we also talked to the drama lead as well. And we talked about how did that sort of creative storytelling, how did doing it via video, how did creating your Spark post of your favorite book, you know, your own style of book cover, and how did, you know, putting those together into a kind of almost like a book portfolio in Spark Page, how did that really, you know, increase that motivation to read in the school? So that was what my session was all about.
That's great, Dom. There are a whole set of great Adobe Max Education talks on the Adobe For Education YouTube channel for you to watch from all over the globe.
Our very own Adobe Education leader, Juliet Bentley, and Dr. Max Schlesser featured in one titled Building Student Voice in a Distance Learning Classroom, hosted by our very own Dr. Tim Kitchen.
And Juliet's with us tonight too, and she's the one who gave the comment, "So good to see you, Dom," which I put in. And of course, Juliet's involved in a number of our initiatives, and she's going to be joining me tomorrow when we do the live stream for the Writing for Change program. It's worth watching these presentations from the Adobe Education leaders and other prominent educators from around the globe on the Adobe For Education YouTube channel.
They can all be found at the current featured headline clips on the Adobe For Education YouTube channel directly above the TOM videos. What does TOM stand for, Tim?
Well, TOM stands for Teaching Online Masterclasses. This is a set of short clips from educators around the globe sharing advice on how to be effectively teaching online. These clips are produced in collaboration with Adobe, Makematic, Participate, iCivics, and ClickView.
These videos are fabulous and are also available to educators and school leaders as a free, full, self-paced course on the Adobe Education Exchange, with the option to complete an assignment and receive a badge and certificate for professional development hours, which I'm working through at the moment.
There you go. Australia's very own Steve Colbert, who might well be with us tonight too, he's a regular viewer of this show, is one of the TOM presenters. Here's one of the clips that he's created called Enhancing Accessibility with Instructional Video. Because of time, I won't play the whole of the clip. It'll give you a sense of what it's like.
One strategy that I use for accessibility in my classroom is instructional video. So what this means is, instead of standing at the front and delivering content, I have the flexibility of online learning, and I have a blended approach that I can use through using the video artifacts that I've created. So for some students, that might mean watching things at home and coming to class prepared to engage with the content. For others, it might mean working in a group, catching up on content that they missed. And there's a whole different range of strategies that you can use within instructional video, but I've found it incredibly useful in my teaching.
And we're actually going to skip a couple of sections here, Erin, because we're running late on time here. But when We'll be hearing more from Dom and Jason at the Deeper Dive event. But right now, Erin and I have some special Adobe in Education announcements to share.
So first off, the global Adobe in Education team recently launched Level 2 of the Adobe Creative Educators program.
This is a program for all educators in all curriculum areas. You don't have to be an Adobe expert to be in this program, but you do have to complete Level 1 and get your Level 1 badge before you can start Level 2. Out of the 243 APAC teachers who have enrolled in Level 1, we've had 157 who have started or passed this level. So well done.
So just hover your camera over this QR code or type the link to find out more about this great program.
Adobe recently launched a new digital literacy course on the Adobe Education Exchange called Cultivating Digital Literacy.
This course provides professional development for educators in all curriculum areas, making it easy for them to assign projects and assignments that include the use of Creative Cloud applications. And I think we might have to skip the clip. Yes, Tim?
We will. People can look at the clip when they go into the course.
Mm-hmm. And if you're on Facebook and you're not already a member of the Australasian Adobe Education Community Facebook group, please join this group at facebook.com/groups/AUSAEL. It's a great way to keep regularly involved with Adobe in education.
Well, we are just about to move across for our Deeper Dive event. Thank you very much, Jason and Dom. We're looking forward to seeing you on the other side very shortly. And Erin, we'll see you soon. And everyone else who's watching this, start making your way over to Blue Jeans.
No worries.
Thank you for being part of this week's Inject Creativity Live chat show. We hope you enjoyed it and found it edutaining. It's now time to switch over to Blue Jeans via bluejeans.com/kitchen.adobe for the Deeper Dive show, which is just about to start. See you there.
See you, folks.